As a mentor, you realize very quickly that productivity spelled backwards is personal discovery. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. Today I want to talk to you about a situation that happened to me where I needed to be mentored, and the person doing the mentoring with me was less than very good. Let's put it to you that way. I'm going to start off by telling you a story to kind of so you can understand what I was feeling in the scenario and what happened. Okay, years ago, I used to be a basketball coach at a place called Los Altos High School, where right next to Stanford. And one of the guys that I coached with played for Stanford. In fact, was the sixth man on the team. And every Sunday night, what we would do is we would open up the gym, just us, and he would have some of his friends come by, and we'd play some pickup games, some really good competition. Well, one Sunday, he had a lot of his friends from Stanford. As a matter of fact, one of the guys that he played with was a guy named Rich Kelly, who went on to become a pro. In fact, he was on the team at the time. He was on the team with Pistol Pete Maravich, playing with Pistol Pete. And so we opened up the gym. This was, in between the seasons, so he was just playing to, be in shape. And so he came, and as a result of the professional coming, all of the other guys from Stanford wanted to come also, and some of them had played professional ball over in Europe, in France, in Germany, so these were guys that were really, really good players. And Eli, I want to let you know that when you're talking about guys that are playing at the Division I level, like Stanford, like UCLA, like Michigan, big time colleges, these guys are unbelievably good athletes. All right, so here I am, I open up the gym with my buddy, the other guy I coached with, Mike, and all his friends are there. And so we're getting ready to play, and we pick up teams. And Mike says to me, "Why don't you take him?" Okay, so I look over, and there's a guy that's like, I don't know, about 6 feet tall, same as I am. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, good. At least I'm not covering somebody. I mean, there were guys there like Rich Kelly's like 7 feet tall. There's other guys there that are like 6'11", 6'8". At least I'm covering somebody. At least I have a chance. I mean, this guy's the same height I am. So anyway, we're playing in the game. We get started, and I'm covering this guy. And I know all the basics. I'm a coach. I know all the basics of defense. I know all the fundamentals. And this guy went by me like I had cement shoes. He was so good. He was so quick that I was like this during the game, all right? And so we had a break in the action, and I said to my buddy Mike, I said, "Hey Mike, who is this guy?" He said, "Oh, he was the starting guard on our team." Well, duh, he went by me like nobody's business, all right? So I knew the fundamentals, but this guy was so much quicker, so much better athlete than I, that it was like NC, no contest. And it kind of reminded me of a scenario where I was doing some actual coaching at another high school over in the Santa Cruz area. It played in Boulder Creek, a high school called in Felton, all right? And the guy that I was the frost soft coach, and the guy that was the varsity coach was a guy named Mark, and he played at Michigan. And he was about the same size I was, and occasionally we would get out on the floor, to show people how to do things, and occasionally we would play against each other, in practice and so on with the kids. And here was somebody else that was like going by me like my sneakers were glued to the floor. I mean, he was just so much quicker than I was, so much better than I was, that it was kind of a discouraging thing, all right? But in the long long range, my point here is he was very, very quick, a superior athlete, but fundamentally, he just did stuff because he did it. He didn't have to think about it. And so when he was coaching and teaching the players, I was actually a better coach than he was because I had to understand all of the different little nuances, the step-by-step production that it takes to go from point A to point B to point C to point D. And he was somebody that just did it because he was such a superior athlete. So what's my point here? All right, well, this past weekend, actually it was Thanksgiving Day itself, I decided I was going to make a couple of videos. So I'm trying to access my Word, all right? You can tell I don't know anything about computers. I've known virtually nothing. And for some reason, I couldn't get this puppy up. I couldn't get it to come on board. So where I could use it, where I could reference it. So I called up Microsoft, all right? And you would think, hey, Microsoft, they're going to have some pretty good customer service, right? So I called them up, and the first thing is, well, we do things by texting. Okay, it's got to be that way, so I figured they're going to walk me through texting. Now, I've been through computer issues before. Usually I get somebody that's in India, whose name is John, who speaks, like an Indian, and you can tell that he's not located in Columbus, Ohio, that he's in India someplace. But in this particular case, it was apparently a lady. She gave me her name, it was a lady, and she goes, okay, I'm going to send you the answer. Here's the answer, and she sends it to me in a text. So I get it, I look at it, I'm reading it on my phone, I'm trying to do the, fix it while it's going on. And I can't make heads or tails. She says, you go to this particular point. I couldn't even find where she wanted me to go. So I'm telling her, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where I am. And she keeps sending me back messages that say, I've sent you the answer. I've sent you the answer. I've sent you the answer. All right. And I said, I need a step-by-step. Are you going to help me or not? And I started to get angry. All right. And I'm by myself, and I'm on the phone where I'm texting, I hit the button where you all have to do is talk and it comes up in print. I'm yelling into the phone, are you going to help me or not? So finally, it just was like so discouraging, and she keeps sending me texts. I've sent you the answer. Is it working? I've sent you the answer, and I'm saying to myself, you sent me the answer, but I don't understand it. So finally I had to wait until the next day and get a buddy that was somewhat, computer knowledgeable, and in 2 seconds he took a look at it, took a look at her answer, and figured it out. If I looked at this thing for 100 years, I never would have figured it out. And then the next day, she sends me another email. It says, I sent you the answer. Did it solve your issue? And they keep saying in the thing, which is obviously, something that they have as a that they send to everybody, it's our pleasure to serve you, and we're pleased to do this, and we really want to help you. And it's like, you want to help me, all right? So she kept sending me things like, did you, we sent you the answer, did you get it? And then I sent her a text that said, E equals MC squared. Could you explain that to me? Hey, I sent you the answer. I sent you the answer. Why can't you explain it to me? Here's my point. When you are mentoring anybody, one of the things you have to do is you have to start from a position of equal understanding. And from there, you take a small step, and another small step, and another small step, and you make that progression on a little bit at a time. It's useless to say, here's the whole answer, if the person doesn't get where the starting point is. The purpose of what we do on this channel is to give you blueprints, to give you areas of common knowledge, starting from there and moving forward a little bit at a time. There are things that I do because of years of experience that I don't even think about what it is I'm doing. I just do them, and it works. Now, I go to these platforms to see what areas are people that are my mentees, people that are watching this channel, what challenges are they having, things that I take for granted that's like, come on, that's so easy. What, you know, you never assume that something is easy for somebody else until they're able to actually do it. So one of the things I look for when I go to these platforms and see the challenges that the writers are trying to solve is, well, if this person feels that this is an issue, then other people are having that same issue. So that's where I try and get my little step-by-step blueprints to help you to achieve so that you can realize the success that you desire and you deserve. So remember this, because you will at some time in your life be mentoring somebody. Always find to start with that common place where you can both agree, okay, I get it, I'm right there, and then move a small step at a time. And it's a good idea, if you can do it in person obviously, to show them how to do it and then watch them do it. All right, these, you know, and this is the way that you get people to advance. And then once they get it, they own it, they don't have to think about it, it becomes automatic, it becomes part of their subconscious. That's what coaching is muscle memory. You're teaching people, move your feet in this direction. You have to think about it first. You have to think about it, you have to think about it, but now you do it by repetition, then it becomes muscle memory, and you no longer have to think about it. Well, you also develop mental muscle memory as well. But the key thing is, remember, when you are mentoring someone, whether it's your children or somebody at work, whatever the scenario is, make sure that you always start from a position where you both understand, okay, I'm right here, I get it. Does that make sense? And because we'll never end a meeting on a philosophical note, shame on you, Microsoft. Because we'll never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's get out there and take charge. I'm Eli's dad.